right, what's the best snack that you have in your house right now? So if you're not allowing yourself to buy Gushers, if you went to your cabinet, pulled something out, what would be the best thing?
I crave croutons, which is odd. So there's a store that down the road that has like pretty damn good croutons soaked in butter. So that's kind of like a guilty pleasure snack, kind of the savory and then sweet. I'm a big fan of cookies. More often than not, I'll sneak downstairs in the middle of the night and grab one. So I'd say chocolate chip cookies is a big one too.
Welcome back to Stacking Growth Snacks. I'm Steph Corniola, and I'm here with Evan Hughes, the VP of Marketing for Refine Labs, to talk about Refine Labs' philosophy on demand and media. And here's where we're getting to the media. So, Evan, what is your paid media strategy when using the Refine Labs philosophy?
It's unique in a sense that it really values and recognizes the evolution of the B2B buyer. We have buyers now consuming content in dark social environments. We have word of mouth is always the biggest driver in success for most businesses. How you create that word of mouth, though, is really where we anchor our philosophy and our strategies with our clients. There are the three layers. We have the demand creation, we have the demand capture, and the demand convert. From a demand creation standpoint, we want to put a lot of eggs in that basket. We want to think about, when we zoom out and look at total marketing budget, no matter the size or scale, we like to invest about 60 to 70% of that budget into these demand creation channels. So the objective here is eyeballs. The objective here is reach. The channels are going to be ICP dependent. Whether you have more of a technical buyer, you might find different channels. Whether you have, more of a marketing to marketer buyer, you're going to have different channels. So how you put the budget is going to be a little bit different, but just recognize that the majority of it is indexed on demand creation, because that's what creates that buzz, that word of mouth, that interest. And then demand capture, and this is usually where people over-index, right? They invest too much in paid search. Marketers tend to do that because it's attributable. It has a last click attribution. They're able to see direct results, direct ROI. The best way to think about our philosophy and our go-to-market paid media strategy is creation about 70%, capture about 30%. You can have all of the creation in the world, the best content, the best capture mechanism from a paid media resource, but if you don't have the right website to actually convert that traffic, it's a big miss. So that's a big part of our conversation too. We talk a lot about paid media strategy, but I would be remiss if I didn't say your website to move that person further along is going to be a key blocker and or a key accelerator for success for the program and for the business at large.
How do you start to deploy that? Can you talk me through a little bit about the transition process? Because I imagine it is not quick and easy.
Step one is really arming the team with the right data. So we have to identify historically what we are doing. And I would start by looking at paid social, paid search, each of those channels. For paid social, it's identifying the audiences we were targeting. What was our campaign objective? Getting historical analysis of that. How much did we invest in these markets? What was the success criteria around that? Did we drive revenue? And then on paid search, it's identifying those top performing keywords. Running search query reports to see what are buyers actually saying. How much of the money did we waste potentially on paid search that was for these lower intent keywords, lower intent tokens that maybe just didn't signal that individual was ready to talk to sales. So it's really not a demand capture. People are using paid search as a demand create channel, they think. It's identifying, which it's either step two of having the data or it's step one if you don't have historics, but who's your audience going to be? What is the message you're getting to them? How are you targeting them? And then carving out, a small test budget. So you don't want to just turn everything off. You want to be able to transition. Generally speaking, you can look at some of your more traditional campaigns that we're running. If they aren't performing, you can usually skim about 20 to 30% of that budget to run a demand gen motion. So I'd recommend doing that for a little bit, kind of proving out the process internally. How are you getting campaigns to market? How are you developing creative? How are you developing content? Push that into market slowly with this objective of demand creation, evaluate results, and then slowly start transitioning. So it's really auditing historicals, rolling out very slowly in market, and really just cutting all the wasted spend that wasn't necessarily contributing to any sort of pipeline revenue.
Evan, thank you so much for walking us all through that. Can you let people know where they can find, follow, and connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me. This has been a blast. So you can definitely find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on there, /Evan Hughes. You'll also see me in our Vault community for those of you that are part of that as well in Slack. But and I'm always open to any sort of connections or different communities that you have. So feel free to reach out. But I appreciate the time, Steph.
Thank you so much. And check us out next time on Stack and Growth Snacks.